This is the Jamboard practice assignment for the 2-4 day 2 and day 3 review. We did these problems in class, but we didn't have time at the end to go over them. So this is a great substitute and it's a good resource for you to have, and you can review it at any point. So number 1, right, this is solving an inequality with variables on both sides. Our first step is to simplify both sides. So it's calling for us to distribute 3 times x minus 3, which would be 3x minus 9. We want to continue simplifying and combine like terms. 3x minus 5x is negative 2x. And now we want to get variables to one side and then constants, those numbers without variables, to the right side. This will make it easier to graph in the end. So right now, this negative 3x, it's negative, so I'm going to add it to both sides to move it over. Negative 2x plus 3x is x, or 1x. And now this minus 9, I'm going to add it to both sides to finish solving. Negative 6 plus 9 is 3, so our solution is x is greater than 3. Set up your number line. It's nice when that reference value is right in the middle. Makes for a nice graph that's a good representation of the inequality. Right, it's open because it's just greater than 3 is not included in the possible solution set, and we shaded to the right to represent all values that are greater than 3. For number 2, because we're dividing this whole side by 3, we can eliminate that fraction by multiplying both sides by 3 to start. What that's going to do is it's going to cancel out the denominator because 3 over 3 is 1. And then we're going to want to distribute 3 times 4x minus 3. (4x times 3 is 12x. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. So now again, we want to move variables to the left side, the constants to the right. So this positive 12x, I'm going to subtract it to move it to the left. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Next, we're dealing with subtracting 5. Let's add it to both sides to move it over. Then we're multiplying x by negative 10. So to finish solving, we're going to divide both sides by negative 10. And it's that step there that requires us to flip the inequality symbol because we divided both sides by a negative number. And 4/10 equals 2/5. It's okay to get a fraction as an answer. We're still going to use a number line. Don't worry about using fractions on your number line. And then we know that 2/5 is between 0 and 1, a little bit closer to 0. So it's going to be filled in because it can be equal to 2/5, and it's greater than because we flipped, so we're still going to shade to the right to represent all values that are greater than or equal to 2/5. For number 3, we want to write an inequality that models the situation. We're then going to solve it, and then we're going to determine if our friend is correct or not. Forest Park Campgrounds charges $100 membership fee plus $35 per night. Woodland Campgrounds charges $20 for a membership fee plus $55 per night. So both sites charge a membership fee up front. That would be an example of like a one-time fee plus some amount per night. And then we would multiply the number of nights to determine the total cost. Your friend says that if you plan to camp for 4 or more nights, then you should choose woodland campgrounds. So let's ignore that part for now. We'll determine that at the end. We want to write and solve an inequality whose solution is the set of values that make woodland campgrounds cheaper than Forest Park. So I'm giving you a hint here. WC is less than FP. That means set up the inequality so that you have woodland campgrounds is less than Forest Park. That way, when we get a solution, the solution will represent the possible nights that if you stay, it will be cheaper to stay at woodland campgrounds. And then we'll see if our friend is correct. So woodland campgrounds charges a $20 membership fee and $55 a night. We want to set this less than Forest Park, which charges a $100 membership fee, but only $35 a night. So in both of these cases, X represents the number of nights. And it's going to be the same number of nights. X is going to represent the same value. When we solve, we'll determine the nights. If you stay, it'll be cheaper for woodland campgrounds. So there's our inequality that represents what's happening. And now we'll solve. So variables to the left, numbers to the right. $20 plus 20x is less than 100. We want to move 20 over, so we got to subtract it because it's positive. And then we're multiplying x by 20, so we got to divide by 20. So the solution we get is x is less than 4. So what does that mean? That means if you stay less, that means it's cheaper to stay at woodland campgrounds if you stay less than 4 nights, because that's how we set up the inequality. We set it up so that woodland campgrounds will be cheaper than Forest Park. So the solution would match how we set it up. It all depends how you set it up, but it told us to set it up this way so that woodland campgrounds would be cheaper than Forest Park. So that's how we're going to set it up. If you had something different, then when you interpret the solution, it would be different as well. So now on to your friend. Your friend said that if you plan to camp for 4 or more nights, then you should choose woodland campgrounds. But we just found out that it's cheaper. It's only cheaper at woodland campgrounds if you stay less than 4 nights. So your friend is not correct. So if you stay, that's sorry, a little tight there. For 4 or more nights, you'd want to choose Forest Park. And for less than 4 nights, you'd want to choose woodland campgrounds. That's it for the review assignment on 2-4, day 2 and day 3. We did these problems in our Jamboard during class, but please use this as a resource to help your learning and understanding.